Okay, here we go. What's the rule from yesterday? When something was split apart adding, how could we actually put them back together? So we either can separate things or put them gluing back together. So log 4 of, I have to glue it back together. So what held them together before I added them? Multiply. Okay, so here we go. X times 10 subtract x equals 2. So I glued them together with those rules from yesterday. Okay, does anybody have a thought about what to do next? Use your components. We have 3 components, right? We talk about bases, exponents, results. What should I do with that? I'm going to change the format, okay? This is in log format, so I'm going to actually change it to exponential. So can you write that out for me? What's the base to the exponent equals result? So the base for exponent 2 equals the result okay, and if you're okay with that, I actually multiplied that through there. You see it? Okay, so 16. Okay, what kind of algebra process do you do if your equation is involved with x squareds and x's in there? Equals 0. Okay, here's my boss. I don't like negative x squared as a boss, so I'm going to go this way. So x squared subtract 10x plus 16. Okay, good. I think this factors simple trinomial. X. Make sure you have equals 0. I'd have to take off a half point just for forgetting 0 on that side. Okay, 8 times 2. Do we like that? Get to a 10. And there we go. We aren't done though. Why are we not done? When you're in a log, what do we always say is the one big rule? The result has to be positive. So if x was 8, this is good. 10 minus 8, good. If x was 2, this is good. 10 minus 2, also good. They're all positive, so that's good. Sometimes you might have to eliminate a solution. Okay. Next one. Here we go. So we had one problem before where we made the same base. Okay. So we've done a question before where we've decided to make these bases the same. Can you do that between a 7 and a 5? Can you make something the same? No. Okay. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to log both sides. I'm going to just log both sides. Okay, now what are the rules? What's the rules? So what do you do with an exponent rule? An exponent can become a multiplier. Okay, brackets, important. This has to be in brackets because you're multiplying by that entirety, okay, by the family of that. Next step, you're going to have to distribute that bracket. Okay, next step. Any term that has an x in it will go to one side. Anything without an x will be on the other side. So this has an x, so I'm going to leave it. This does not have an x in it, so I would put it to the other side. So I moved it over here to the end and I subtracted it. Okay, and then to get x alone, I'm going to divide by 3 log 7 to get that and that out. Okay, this is it. We're ready for our big calculator stuff. So you are going to make sure in your calculator that you would put brackets on the top family, right? So this is what mine looks like, bracket, 9 log 5 minus log 7, divide by 3 log 7. Three decimal places, your answer has to be. Let's see who can get it and who can't. It's tricky to type. Okay, let's go to this one below here. Let's try this. Okay, so we are not going to write the same bases on a 5, a 7, 3. That's not going to work as a strategy. So log of okay, I'm going to log both sides. So exponential equation, if you can't use the same bases, you're going to have to log both sides. Okay, I'm going to activate the log rules. Okay, there's 2 items in here multiplied. So what am I going to do to split those 2 items? I'm going to add them. So log 5 plus, and I'm going to add the 7 item, okay, but at the same time, can we move the exponent on the 7 to the multiplier of it? Okay, so do you see my rules? The multiplication, split the 5 part and the 7 part apart with add, and then the exponent became the multiplier in front. Good? Do we like the rules? Okay, and then this side, the exponent can become the multiplier. Okay, that's the rules. Now you have a bracket, so this would have to go through. So I'm going to keep everything else though. Okay, now algebraically, everything that has an x in it will have to be on the same side of the equation. So I'm going to go that move. So log 5 doesn't have an x, 3 log 7 doesn't have an x. Okay, so that's my next item up. I move things with x's together, without x's together. Okay, now what I would do here is I would GCF the x out of this. So x okay, and it would equal that side. I'm just going to be writing this because it's okay, I think. Okay, so I GCF the x out. Now, how do I get x alone? divide by okay. There we go. So we logged both sides, we applied the log rules. If there was brackets, we distributed. We collect X stuff, not X stuff, GCF X out. So this top family bracket divide by this bottom family bracket. Okay. Some of you are going to have lots of brackets going on if you're a bracket calculator. So here we go, see if we can get it. Okay, so there's a base E and a base 7, so we obviously can't write them. You figured it out. You did it. Okay, so base E, base 7, that cannot be written as the same base, so we have to log both sides. But wait, I'm not going to log both sides. I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to natural log both sides. Why? Because I saw that E in there. Okay. Will I get the question wrong if I log both sides? Nope. It's all good too. Okay. But this ln will help us get a shortcut. Okay. So instead of logging, I'm going to natural log both sides. Okay. So the trick is if you see an E, it gets you to a shortcut. And we'll see the shortcut in a bit. All right, log rules, here you go. Exponent can become a multiplier. Okay, here's now why this is a shortcut. Does anybody know the value for the ln of E? 1. Okay? Here's why. Do you remember the secret base? E. And the result is E. So what is that value up there? 1. So this is 1. ln of E is just 1 because that's the exponent. When you have a base E and a result E, the exponent's 1. Okay, would you be okay if I just did that then? Because does it matter if I multiply by 1? No. Okay, so if you were a person who didn't natural log and you wrote log E, then you would have to have 5x log E plus 7 log E, and you would have all that stuff in your calculator, and you will get it. Okay, so you just didn't get the shortcut. All right, so now we just have 5x plus 7 Okay, so again, log E is fine, but there was just no cancellation because that was a base of 10 and a result of E, so you can't do any tricks. All right, what has an X in it? What doesn't have an X in it? Kept that because it had an X, moved that because it didn't have an X. And divide by 5. Okay, so I'm going to be using my ln button, right? Do you see it? It should be probably right beside your log button. Okay, on this pink sheet, I have some tips about solving equations, okay? So exponential. Here we go. This is an exponential equation. Okay? You learned this one first. So this was a special case. Because 125 and 1/5, what could I do? That one is the strategy of make the same bases on that. Okay? And you actually don't need to touch a calculator to do this question. Then, now we've learned this, where we can't do stuff with the same base. So what do? Log it, separate it. Log it, separate it. Now we've learned log, so what do? Glue it, change the format of it. Okay? Or this one is special because it's logs on both sides. So if you can get the log something, you can drop the logs away. Equality property. Okay? So do you see that this is reversing each other? If I'm exponential, I log it, then I separate it. If it's log, I glue it and then exponent it. Does that make sense? That's going reverse opposite of each other. Log it and separate it versus glue it and exponential it. See how that's opposite? Okay. So here we go. I'm in my book. I'm on page 18. I'm on page 18. We're going to do questions 6 and 8. I'm on page 18. Okay, so here we go. This is a log. So I'm going to do what? What's my first step? Glue. Glue it. When I say that, it's the rules. Here we go. Log 4 of what glued together? So here we go. This 2 multiplier, how do I undo the rules? How do I work them backwards? Move it to a x squared. 2 multiplier, I undid it, now it's an exponent. What do you do with subtraction? Connect it, glue it with division. And that's a family, right? The x plus 3 is like a family. Okay, so glue it, and then do what? What should you do to this guy? Change its format. You got all the components? Where's the bases, exponents, results? Base 4, exponent 1 equals. Okay, tell me a good math strategy here, just with algebra. What would you do? I would times by x plus 3. I would times by x plus 3. Do you like that idea? Are you going to go 4x plus 12? And what's your favorite 2 words to tell me about equation solving? Equals 0. Make sure you keep your boss of it positive when you, because that will help your factoring. 6 times 2, do you like that combo? Okay, not done. It looks good, but you have to check why. The results can never be, it always has to be positive. It can't be 0 and it can't be negative. So if you were to plug in 6, this is good. 6 plus 3, good. -2, oh, that's bad if you put it into that spot. So guess what you have to do? You have to cross that off, okay? And you would lose a half a point for not rejecting an answer. Okay, so got it, glue it, change the form. So let's try this one below it. Okay, so this one, I'm going to glue those two things together. They were separated, so I'm going to glue them. So if there was an add, I got to put them together with a multiply. Okay, don't forget the x plus 2 has to have a bracket family around it. Okay, now this starts with log 4 something and this starts with log 4 something. So what kind of math can we think about? Hey, if they both start the same, then they both have to end the same. So I'm going to say 3x plus 6 has to be the same as x. Because log 4 something equals log 4 something else. They both start with the log 4. Okay? Do not cancel. That is not the math property you're doing. You're not, if you had a line like that as a cancellation, I have to deduct you half a point. That's not the math idea. You're not canceling it. You're just using the math property called equality on each side. Okay, there you go. Solve this. What are you going to do? Very just isolation stuff. I got -3. Is that what you got? What do you do though?
You did -2x.
What?
Because x.
Where am I? Am I not good?
You're good.
I'm good? Okay, but let's try it out. If x was -3, what about the result of this one? What's -3 plus 2? Not positive. So I have to do what? Cross it off? Okay. I can't just leave it like that now. No solution. I have to write that now. Okay? So if you didn't write that, I'd have to take off a half a point because you have to make that conclusion now. Okay? Okay, so those were the two types of log. Glue it, exponential it. This one was glue it and use the equality on both side rule. Okay, do you want me to do another, let's do one more. This is an exponential, and then I'm going to let you go. Okay, could I ever use the same base property on this one? No. A base of 5, a base of 9, no, nothing in common. So I'm going to log both sides. Okay, now separate rules. Okay, so do you see my kind of process? Log, I glue it and then exponent it. Here, I log it and I separate it. So log 6 is one of the items, and then the multiplication splits it with an add. I'm going to apply the exponent multiply rule. at the same time. Multiply, split, add, exponent becomes multiplier. Okay, next stage, you should have actually two brackets that you're gonna have to distribute, that side and that side. If you showed anybody who didn't know math this question, it would look really complicated, but it's actually not. Okay, don't forget, you're not really writing a base because there's just the whole time you're using that secret base 10. Okay, what do we need here? We need x terms on one side. We need not x terms on one side. Okay, so I'm gonna go, I like this plus. I like doing stuff with positive x there. Okay, so I went to the left with my x things. It doesn't matter if you had done it the other way, we should still work it out. Okay, so once you've GCF'd the x out, okay, you're gonna divide, and I need a 3 decimal answer out of that from your calculator. Okay, 3 decimal rounded answer is -0.088.